Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Al Pam News Network. I'm Carol, I'm your host, and today we're honored to have a special guest, Bob Winstead, a candidate for North Carolina Secretary of State. Thank you for joining us today, Bob. We appreciate you taking the time to share your visions and plans with the viewers.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Carol.
Are you ready to rock and roll on this?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Well, to begin with, Bob, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, what you've done in your life and career, and what inspired you to run for Secretary of State of North Carolina?
Sure. That's a long list, but I'll bullet point it for you. How about that?
You got it.
So I am a Christian conservative capitalist. I've been a husband for 33 years to an amazing woman that has stood beside me through thick and thin. I've been a daddy for 30 years to 3 wonderful boys and a granddaddy for 2. I've been a serial entrepreneur since my early teens. I've started, owned, and operated multiple local businesses and one national. I've also managed hundreds of people and thousands of customers at a time. I've formed several nonprofits and served on boards of others. I actually jumped out of planes in the United States Army, and I've been a sports coach for over 40 years. Now, my inspiration is threefold. As a Christian, I feel I'm called to step into the public square and use my time, talent, and treasure to grow the kingdom and serve its people. As a North Carolina business owner, I've been recruited to fight for our business community and entrepreneurs, and I think they are just the backbone of our community. And as a community servant, with the energy and expertise and resources to help, I feel led to teach our children and our grandchildren how to realize their American dream in the state of North Carolina. So those are my 3 inspirations.
Well, thank you, Bob. That is a jam-packed resume. And first and foremost, thank you for your service.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
those are some mighty good goals. So moving on, so tell me, if elected, what are the top 3 priorities you plan to pursue as Secretary of State, and why are those your biggest concerns for our state right now?
Yes, ma'am. It's tough to whittle those down because, as you know, there are a ton of responsibilities that come through the Secretary of State's office.
Indeed.
And organization is key. So my top 3 priorities are modernization, customer service, and transparency. And as far as the 3 areas or the top 3 areas of focus, my first order of business would be to conduct an audit on the technology, the processes, and any areas of redundancy, because I think our tax dollars should pay for efficiency and not bureaucratic waste.
Yes, sir.
The second there would be to drive economic growth by delivering local solutions. Now, I think every county has its own challenges and opportunities, and I plan to know both. So under my watch, this office will be active and present in all 100 counties. I'll make it easier to start a business, grow a business, and stay in business. Because again, as you know, Carol, when businesses are strong, communities are strong, and the American dream is alive and well. And the third priority for me would be to protect our citizens from fraud with better resources, stronger partnerships, and a smarter education. This fight's a little personal for me. My mom, who is also a North Carolina resident, was recently targeted by a phone scam, and she's digging her way out of that. I mean, it was just an amazing thing at how crafty these people are.
Yep.
So that spurred me to reach out to some law enforcement agencies and some agencies that are currently fighting with fraud. And I'm currently working on an initiative to help stop this type of fraud before it ever reaches your home. So
that's great.
3. Yes, ma'am.
I hope your mom finds her way out of that. And Mr. Winstead, you are always welcome in Dare County.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
As one of the 100. So moving on, Bob, as Secretary of State, you'll have a role in business registration, filings, and regulatory oversight. What is your approach to ensuring North Carolina remains business friendly while at the same time protecting consumers and fair practices?
Sure. Yeah. So my approach is simple. Make it easy to do business in North Carolina while protecting the people of North Carolina. As Secretary of State, I'll streamline and modernize our filing systems. I'll provide clarity and fairness for businesses big and small, and I'll enforce the rules evenly so that consumers are protected. I think efficiency and transparency and trust are really how we keep North Carolina growing.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. And Bob, many voters care deeply about election integrity, transparency, and trust in the government. How would you ensure that the office you hold strengthens public confidence in corporate filings, business licensing, and any duties tied to oversight?
Sure, that's a mouthful, isn't
That
it?
is a mouthful, right? Thank you.
I'll strengthen our trust by making first our records accurate, our processes transparent, and I believe our office needs to be completely professional and nonpartisan. North Carolinians deserve clear information, easy access, and the confidence that their Secretary of State's office is run fairly and reliably. And that's exactly how I'll serve. Now, as far as elections are concerned, North Carolina is just a little bit different than most states. Secretary of State's role here is primarily administrative, as you know. And our state board of election really handles our election integrity issues, but I will certainly do my part to support them with transparency and accuracy.
Thank you. That is really important to North Carolinians these days. So moving on, given that small businesses are a backbone for many communities in North Carolina, especially rural areas, what specific policies or reforms would you champion to support small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs across the state?
Yes, ma'am. Another endless list. So this is home for me. I've been a small businessman my entire life, and I can promise you one thing: I can empathize with every situation an entrepreneur and a nonprofit director will and might face. And I'm talking about the good, bad, and the ugly. So I'll make it easier again to start, stay in, and grow a business in North Carolina by simplifying the filings, speeding up the turnaround times, and providing clear tools and guidance for entrepreneurs. And I'll take that support directly to the rural and underserved communities so every small business has a fair shot at success.
Thank you for that answer. Moving on. How do you plan to engage with citizens, small businesses, and local communities to ensure your office remains accessible and responsive? What mechanisms would you implement to keep transparency and accountability high?
Yes, ma'am. I am currently on the road now. We are visiting all 100 counties, and I just want to be a listener. So, like I said, my wife and I, we are traveling. Sometimes I take our advisors and other people, but we're going into each county to get to know its people and their needs and their definition of the American dream, because that has changed for so many. And the way to do that is just to listen to their specific challenges and ideas so that when I am elected, I can hit the ground running with strategies that work locally. And again, I will continue to have my boots on the ground in all 100 counties instead of trying to serve them from an office in Raleigh. I'll keep the Secretary of State's office accessible by meeting people where they are, through community outreach, listening sessions, and strong online support. And I'll keep this office accountable by tracking and publishing clear performance metrics so every North Carolinian can see how, where, and what we're doing and how we're improving.
Thank you for that. Looks like you've got your path forward ready to go. One last question we're going to wrap up for you.
Sure.
Finally, Bob, what sets you apart from other candidates? Why should North Carolina voters choose you for Secretary of State? What quality, experiences, or convictions make you the right person for this office?
Yeah, easy one for me because I'm not a politician, but so let me first start, if I can, Carol, and just say I would never challenge our current Secretary of State or any potential candidate on their leadership, integrity, and love for our great state. I think to put your hat in the ring for this position, those are just the minimum standards.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a career politician. I'm a career servant with the skills and experience to enhance this office and the people that it serves. Now, listen, as an entrepreneur, I look at every job the same way. We identify what needs to be accomplished and then figure out with excellence how to get it done the most efficient and effective way. So the current Secretary of State, who will be 83 years old, has held this office for 30 years.
Wow.
And she would have been active in politics for 55 at the end of her term. And again, I have nothing negative to say about her. She has served our state well. And I look forward to building on the strong foundation she put in place. But I also want to enhance those things that now may be outdated, right? Or ready for a fresh set of eyes and some new energy. So, and finally, I've been a business owner my entire life. I've done everything from leading boardrooms to cleaning bathrooms, and that is not a fun job. But with respect, I believe when it comes to business, that businesses are best served by someone who signs the front of a check, not a government employee who signs the back. And sure, Miss Carol, I've had a lot of success, but I've also navigated the challenges of being overregulated by our government and having to do whatever it takes to keep my doors open. So I ask you, who better than someone with my experience, energy, and excitement to fulfill the duties of Secretary of State? You put me there and we'll watch this state grow.
Very positive finish, Bob. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Again, thank you for sharing your thoughts, your vision, and your plans for North Carolina. We appreciate your willingness to answer some tough questions and hear directly from you. For our viewers, we encourage everyone to stay informed, research your candidates, and please, please vote on Election Day. Bob, best of luck on your campaign, and thank you again for joining us on the Al Pam News Network.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me. Hope you have a wonderful day.